Hello there. Welcome to Tech Trends with me, Olayemi Odunuga. And this week, Tech Trends brings you to Federal Government Girls College, Shagamu in Ogun State, which is my alma mater. But our journey here isn't for me, but to tell the stories of 8 shaggy girls who have created a humanoid robot called Okikiola Shagamu, aka Kiki Shaggy. Well, come along with me as we showcase what Kiki Shaggy is capable of doing. The reason it has taken so long for the robotics industry to move forward is because people keep trying to make something that is cool, but difficult to achieve, rather than trying to find solutions to actual human problems. It's been 12 years since I last visited my alma mater, Federal Government Girls College, Shagamu, in Ogun State, which is one of the largest girls' colleges in Nigeria. And as we approach the familiar gate, it's a nostalgic feeling for me as I relive the 6 years of my life I spent at this great college. From the drive along the tree-lined boulevard to the vast landscape that decorates the school and the sights of buildings and structures as I remember them, all bring back bittersweet memories for me. But this story isn't for me to reminisce about my childhood. It's about how FGGCS is not only grooming girls for excellence, but preparing them for the future of work. Eight young innovators from this school successfully built a humanoid robot called Okikiola Shagamu, aka Kiki Shaggy.
Nice to meet you too, once again.
In early August 2023, news spread on social media of how a robotics team from this college, led by their principal, Dr. Muyibat Olodo, visited the Federal Ministry of Education in Abuja to present the groundbreaking achievement.
Who is the President of Nigeria?
So Tech Trends decided to pay them a visit and see how Kiki Shaggy works.
We are here with our own humanoid robot named Okikiola Shagam, also known as Kiki Shaggy. Okikiola Shagam is a 6-foot robot that can move forward, move backward, it can turn, and it's the other side. It can move its leg. Move its arm.
Kiki works with a virtual assistant, which is why she can respond to any global question. But in order for me to have a conversation with Kiki, my picture is first taken and shared with the robot. This trains it to recognize me on our first encounter.
Good day, Miss Olayemi's boy. You are welcome. My name is Kiki Shaggy. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How many animals are there in the world?
According to Twinkle, scientists have estimated that there is a total of 8.7 million mammal species living on Earth. which means there are 7.5 million species yet to be discovered.
Seeing Kiki converse with me live amazes the parents of the girls and even some of their teachers. The look on their faces tells it all as they try to capture the moment too. What is coronavirus?
According to the World Health Organization, coronavirus disease (COVID-19) is an infectious disease caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Most people who fall sick with COVID-19 will experience mild to moderate symptoms and recover without special treatment. However, some will become seriously ill and require medical attention.
To get Kiki Shaggy to this stage, the team was faced with some difficulties. Having limited resources to work with was one of them. Balancing Kiki's creation with schoolwork was another.
While we're building it, actually, the leg was not on a level ground. So when it's moving, it tends to want to fall back. So we had to try and rebuild the base to adjust to that movement. And we also faced the problem of, because of the build of the robot, build of Kiki, using the mannequin and the parts that were golden and all, we wanted to cut it to put all the things I wanted to put at the back in a way that it will not destroy the beauty of Kiki. And yeah, that was a major challenge because of when we wanted to screw, make holes and everything, especially for the arm, we had to figure out a way to cut gently, not to affect the beauty. That's for hardware. Then for software, we faced the challenge of trying to merge the hardware software that is the code. For the camera, for example, the camera is meant to, recognize the faces of people, then take their names from the software division to be able to greet them. But it was not working. So we had to recode, reprogram, remove errors, and try to just merge the camera and the software together so it could work well.
It took the girls almost a year to complete the robot, because the hardware and software were built by them. But that story is incomplete without the mention of the school's principal, Dr. Muibat Olodo, to whom the girls attribute part of their success.
Before our principal came, Dr. Mrs. Emi Olodo, we've never heard of the FLL competition or the FTC competition, but when she arrived, we got to know about the FLL competition and the FTC competition. With time, she made sure that we participated in that competition so that to boost our intellect and we were able to understand more about robotics. But along the line, our principal thought of what she could do so that we have access to those competitions. So she decided to build a robotics center for us, which made things effective and easy for us to get through it. And within that space, she got to think about what we could do with robotics and how we could make it something big, that's something people will want to know about. So she thought about making a humanoid robot which would interact and recognize faces. And it was like fun, it was wonderful getting to know about it. And we students, we loved the idea.
This is the first successful trial of Okikiola Shagamu, and the girls envision an updated and improved version that will be able to perform advanced tasks like working in the academic field.
Tech Rangers, striving for innovation!
Lagos is home to a vibrant and thriving tech ecosystem, and within that ecosystem are tech hubs and innovation centers that have produced some of the most successful startups in Africa. Which is why it felt natural for the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, to situate an innovation center in Lagos to tap into Nigeria's growing tech sector. This launch reception in Ikoyi is to celebrate the commissioning of the UNDP Lagos Innovation Center.
To create and bring in more ideas
and representatives of the European Union, the German consulate, key partners from the United Kingdom and the United States are present to join in the celebration.
You're busy enough today, right? Yes.
The governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, also makes an appearance with some of his officials.
This innovation center is the first of its kind for UNDP, and we wanted it to be here in Lagos because this is where the ecosystem of innovation, both tech, film, and culture, happens here. It's because we want to be the space of incubation. We want to bring grants. We're in the grant organization. We want to be able to bring grants. We want to be able to facilitate and find those niche areas to support these brilliant, dynamic young people. And I'm saying this not just because I'm here. I have never been more optimistic about Africa than when I'm in Nigeria, and specifically when I'm in Lagos.
We don't have rule of law experts. We don't have environment experts. We don't have traditional development specialists. We have systems hackers. We've got social engineers. And they wake up in the morning and are constantly thinking about how to better understand problems, ask the right questions, make sense of data, make sense of behavior, and test in very simple ways models that then can be taken back to the ecosystem as a whole.
According to UNDP, the center will aim to redefine development approaches, harnessing innovation for transformative solutions. The guests are then treated to a mini interaction with the Lagos team that will run the center.
What's that thing you're looking forward to at the Innovation Center? What's one thing you're looking forward to?
In simple terms, a not-to-arrange space, a space that is filled with art, filled with, inspiring contents of nature. Because what the arranged spaces do to you is that they tend to make you conform to what's already there.
Thank you for making tonight memorable indeed.
The Assistant Secretary General and UNDP Regional Director for Africa says efforts need to be made to break barriers for young people, which is why the Innovation Center is important.
It's a celebration, but also there's a serious part to it. That as people who have been privileged to have access to jobs, to positions, that we have a burden on us to make sure that we can liberate every segment of society to be able to enjoy the same, to have the same access. And I think this Innovation Center, it's about that.
Governor Sanwo-Olu in his speech says his administration is committed to not only talk but act with the UNDP on this project.
We see a government that can walk and run with those ideas. And that's why we are here, to give you that support, to say to you that everything Akuna, everything Mo, everything William, that you all stand for, and for all of you that have come out of this stage, you've identified a partner in our government. We will not only talk, we will act and we will work with you.
The UNDP Lagos Innovation Center is a flagship initiative of the United Nations Development Programme in Nigeria and will have a strong focus on job creation and entrepreneurship. Well, it's nice to meet you, Hossam Kandil, Vice President, MTN Group at Ericsson. Thank you so much for joining us on Tech Trends.
Thank you, Ololai, for having me.
Now, let's begin this conversation from Africa, which has been reported as, the fastest growing continent in the world. And of course, with this thriving and vibrant ecosystem, how has Ericsson been able to position itself to ensure a more connected Africa?
We have an initiative in Ericsson called Africa in Motion, and for that we are putting lots of focus on how to enable Africa as a continent to develop both from a technology perspective, but even also how we enable societies and people to, get the best out of digitization. And from there we help on different dimensions within the whole ecosystem. We act with our partners, our customers. We try to also contribute to policymakers, and we try to help a lot even, the youth, whether when it comes to innovations or when it comes to employment opportunities. So we try as much as possible to tap into the different players within the ecosystem of ICT.
And in your opinion, how critical is digital in securing Africa's future?
The best thing about digital is that it removes the barriers and borders between collaborations between people and towards the outside world even. So we have seen that how much COVID, when it came, without really digital platforms that was capable to enable people to communicate, transact, and collaborate together, maybe we wouldn't have been able to make it as much as we have been able to sustain that very tough period. So for us, the way that we see it is that digital is going to enable economies to develop. And that has been out of a study that, every development in ICT contributes strongly with a percentage point into the economic development GDP of a country. But also when you look at how vast a scale countries are in Africa, and the digital divide that is available that deprives maybe people who are sitting in rural areas, maybe they don't have as much accessibility to technologies and information. And with digital, they would be able to have their good chance into realizing their dreams. I think these are two very key aspects that we strive to contribute to with our strive towards digitization.
Now, if we bring this conversation down to Nigeria as one of the big four countries, with an impressive tech ecosystem, what is Ericsson's contribution to the growth of our tech ecosystem?
Absolutely. Nigeria is a phenomenally large country, both from a footprint perspective, amount of capabilities and resources, and natural resources that are available that makes the economy itself diverse to a large extent. What we have been trying to do is to first, through our partners, help a lot to craft at least the connectivity layer through good coverage solution, good capacity solutions, and also new technologies that would help the economy to make the best use of the digitization. We've also been very happy that we run a global innovation program across Ericsson. And we've been very, very lucky that the second place as the best innovation globally came out of Nigeria. And that represents how much we enable also youth to think that there is no borders for innovation. There is no borders from contributing with the best ideas that come out of Africa that would make an impactful contribution to the whole world. So we try, as I said, to contribute on different dimensions. Also, we continuously make meetings with policymakers to make sure that we send our views and consultations when it comes to the spectrum usage, how policies should be made, and so forth.
You're also here to meet with people and talents you've championed. How do you commit to local teams as Ericsson? For us, people is an extremely important pillar for realizing Ericsson's ambition, but also for tapping into realities of the markets that we work in. So for us, it's very, very important to not only rely on our experts who are coming from abroad, who sometimes we bring on to make sure that we have the best experience on the ground, but also blend them strongly with local caliber and local capabilities, be it experts from the local market like Nigeria, or even fresh graduates. So we have been having a very strong program that has been gaining appraise. We have launched it across Africa, but also in Nigeria, where we bring in graduates from universities. We admit them into Ericsson, into an internship program for 1 year. They work within different functions, being sales, operations, project management, solutions support, whatever it is. And we train them so that they come up to the level of delivering such job requirements. We blend them within our teams. We make them as part of our workforce. And we prepare them for the job market. And then after the year end, we open up for employment opportunities for the ones of them who would be interested and fit to continue with us. And we also open up for bringing another batch of graduates. So I think all this together and sitting together as one team
our culture in Ericsson is a very open culture. We do not, people sit with the senior executive, and even if they are graduate, they call each other by names. They just challenge each other, and that's part of the power that we get. So I use the chance when I come over here to listen to the local teams, whether they are the experts, whether they are the fresh graduates, and listen more from an outside-in view, from a local view, on even advices that they might give me as a person to help contribute more, whether to the Nigerian economy, to the Nigerian industry, or also take back with me back to Ericsson. So I think people is an extremely important pillar for us.
Now, you've talked about all the good things that Ericsson is doing in Nigeria, but how are you investing in network to connect Africa?
We do not really think of one size fits all for all the continents, right? Every continent has its own peculiarities, right? So what we try to do is that also we try to research to understand what products can be fit for the African reality. So I'm very proud that we came up with one product that came out of an innovation from the Middle East and Africa team that was sent back to the headquarters. And based on this, we have developed a product that was now rolled out into several networks, also in Nigeria, that has a better fit for power consumption, that is much less, footprint that is so much smaller, weight that is so much lighter, and even that would help to be more fit for rollout in rural areas like the African reality. And that product came at a cheaper cost than its counterparts, while being still at a very, very trained capability from being able to support the new technologies like 4G and 5G and so forth. So this is one of the things that we are trying to make sure that we create products that are able to be fit for the purpose of the continent that we work with. And when we come with such tailored products, that helps a lot to enable such countries to face the challenges that they have when it comes to rolling out technology that is fit, that is more affordable, and it's still providing the latest technologies.
And of course, I have to ask you, what is your drive at Ericsson when it comes to using technology for good and, inspiring action for further development?
It's a driving force from the company to become a contributing company, not only from gaining profits to our shareholders, but to being an active member of the world and in the society. And it's a driving force for me as a person who have children, who have family, and want to become, even individually as a person, a contributor to the different footprints that I go to. So I come here to Nigeria, I meet very nice friends, I meet very good customers, and I eat nice food, right? And I see some good sceneries like I was just mentioning, and I want to give something back for all these good things that came to me. So I think it's a drive for us on different levels to make sure that we give good things back, but also help develop the world around us to clarify what the segment of the industry that we're working with can contribute back to the whole world, and to create a notion, an example of how ICT itself, with the improved digitization, can help the world become a better place.
That was such an insightful conversation with you, Hossam Kandu, Vice President, MTN Group at Ericsson. Thank you so much for joining us on Tech Trends.
Thank you so much for having me. It has been a pleasure.
And that's all we have for you on our program this week. Thank you always for watching. But remember, Tech Trends is here to share insights, trends, and developments happening in the tech space. And if you missed any part of the program, you can always catch up on the channel's TV accounts where we have all of our episodes. And I encourage you to watch, share, and like your favorite editions. For Tech Trends, I'm Olayemi Otunuga. I'll see you next time.